Welcome to Bakhita's Blessings Podcast, our weekly podcast where we explore issues in the life of the church and share the mission of our wonderful parish, St. Josephine, Bakhita. And we also seek the guidance of our patron saint, Josephine Bakhita, who leads us in our mission as we open wide our doors and our hearts to worship, evangelize, and serve all God's people. Thank you for joining us. I'm Father Mitch and pastor of St. Josephine Bakhita Parish, and I'm grateful for your presence with us tonight.
So, Father Mitch, I thought you were going to forget to say your name there. I was getting a little bit worried.
Everyone knows who I am, right?
As long as you know, because I was getting a little worried. My name is Dr. Alice Prince, and I am the Director of Evangelization and Communications for St. Josephine Bakhita Church. And we are so excited that you are joining us because we have two amazing guests.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm just going to say Black History.
In St. Louis.
Yes,
right.
yes. Well, really worldwide to us.
Right.
Yes. But listen, we are so glad that you're with us. So stay tuned. Bakhita's Blessings Podcast is on the way. Welcome to Bakhita's Blessings Podcast. And listen, if you have not liked or subscribed, right now there is something scrolling across your screen. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and send this episode to somebody because this is an episode that you're going to get. You're going to feel some inspiration behind, some motivation. Plus, we got some Black history on our podcast today, which I'm super duper excited to welcome Devon Alexander and Mike McCollum to the Bakhita's Blessings Podcast. Woo!
All right.
I am so super excited. So first, I'm just going to start with Mike. Mike, I'm excited to have you on because we've been about the community since we've known each other.
Yes.
You know, we've been about putting boots on the ground with the community. We are not the people that just say, oh, this community should change. We are the change that we want to see. So whatever that looks like, if that's uplifting the youth, if that's doing neighborhood cleanups, you know, if that's doing job workshops, if that's doing music.
Right.
You know, whatever. I ain't going to even talk about the music days. Now, we'll leave the music days. But whatever that is, and if it is building Black businesses, if it's building voter registration drives, I mean, the list could go on and on of how we meet each other in the community because we are definitely kindred spirits, definitely like-minded individuals where everything that we do, we are doing it for the community, not for us. And Devon Alexander, I'm so excited. And my brother, I'm just going to say bless you. I'm going to say congratulations. Recently inducted in the St. Louis Hall of Fame. And just how you have put St. Louis on the map.
Yes.
See, listen, I know about you through your works and through your actions, but also Senator Jamila Nasheed. One day she was talking to me and she was like, he backed me, and I'm like, okay. She was like, no, Doc, let me tell you, this is how you believe he should treat his temple. He don't smoke, he don't drink, he don't do this, he don't do that. And I was like, I knew it anyway because you have to be so healthy when you train. Yeah. But she was like, no, Doc, he a different type of man. He a different type of person. And I was like, oh my God, that's so wonderful. And so just even what you're doing now with your foundation, and I know we're going to try to do some things to partner with you in St. Louis Catholic Academy, and just even with our youth here at St. Josephine Bakhita. Father Mitch doesn't know that yet, but that's going to be something that I'm going to
I'm all in.
With the youth because I love what you stand for when you really help social emotional, when you help them not fight in the ring and what not fighting looks like, when you help build young boys up to men, you know, so I love that, and I think that that's something that our community really needs to continue. And so I just appreciate you, brother, because that's a ministry all in itself.
Indeed.
So now I'm going to toss it to Father Mitch.
Well, thank you, Alice. I'm just really grateful that you all are here to share with our community the great work that you're doing, and I feel like I'm next to royalty, right?
And you are.
So excited to see not only excellence but commitment and your desire to build up our community. It matches with the mission of our parish, I think, but for me, it helps me to connect more clearly with the work that's before us. Absolutely. And it gives me hope to be able to partner with you in the work. So I would echo, I think, what Alice is going to challenge me to say is whatever you all need, we want to be able to serve you too.
Come on, Holy Spirit. I didn't even say that loud. I didn't have to say up the meeting to write the proposal. Yeah. But let me just say that's why I like and love our lead shepherd here at St. Josephine Bakhita Church, because he does walk at how he talks, and he puts his money where his mouth is. He is about community and everything that we can do to continue to increase the overall collective consciousness of community. We just got off with and did an interview with the executive director for Alliance to End Human Trafficking. So we deal with the whole person, the whole community at St. Josephine Bakhita community. So, man of God, I just want to thank you for being the lead shepherd, because I know it's not easy, but you really have the grace of God calling on your life.
Amen.
So my first question to you is, what draws you into community service and helping community? And I love the different facets of your life that I know about, right? Because I do know about so many, right? I know about politically what you do.
Right.
I know about how you are in the streets, truly hands-on helping community, right? You just not in the backseat saying, oh, we need to do this, we need to do that. You actually doing the work. Yeah. I understand the policy work that you do and the different hats that you have to wear. I always say, like, from the trap house to the White House. You know, like,
right.
Or you know what I mean? Like, you can definitely do that, and you understand what I mean. So talk to me, and now how you are supporting this young black man with his opportunities and his foundation. That also says a lot about you too. So you lift as you climb, you know what I mean? Yes. Like, and that's also important. It's never been about you. So talk to me a little bit about what drives you for community service or helping the community.
So I'm a firm believer that you don't have to be an activist to be active.
Come on, you preaching.
You know, it really has to do with my upbringing, how I was raised, my mother and my father, as far as community in the era. And it's really what was instilled in me. You know, some people, they do things for a shine or a, recognition. It's not that for me. And the thing is, it doesn't take anything to just contribute. It doesn't take anything to find the need and join in. And that's really what I've really been about authentically. And it's a calling for me, and us being spiritual, that's kind of how I've always been. How good would Shaq be without Kobe, and how good would Kobe be without Shaq?
Come on.
So yeah, this is my brother right here. It started out really authentic, and it's a real blessing because you know how St. Louis is, right? It's really big on ego and that type of thing, and it's a lot of people who do things for the wrong reasons and they bandwagon for the wrong reasons. So it's a privilege to really be in a position where from day one to be like, bro, what you need, I got you, and not even ask, but just jump in. And that's kind of how I've been. That's been my MO, and that's to do it to uplift a legend, St. Louis, is an honor. It's a real honor, and a privilege. So that's really me. That's my calling. I mostly stay in the shadows, but I think now when my numbers call, I step up.
Come on, when your numbers call, because like full disclosure, he did not want me to interview him, full disclosure. He was like, no, it could just be you. And I was like, no, but let me tell you why it's important for you to be on camera too. I was like, and that's what, am I lying?
No,
that's
you're telling the truth. You're telling the truth. You're telling the truth.
You know, so I had to talk him into being in this interview because I think that your testimony will help somebody else.
Yeah.
They will see you and you'll be able to speak to them in ways that I can't, right? I can't be a black man. Father Mitch, he's not a black man. You know what I mean? And so it's going to be somebody listening to this episode that you are going to be, that will understand you and see the face of God in you. And it would be reason for them to keep going. And that's why I needed you here. Okay, black man?
I'm here for you.
Okay.
You know, when you call me, I come.
You do. I definitely can say that. So listen, we have a living legend, Black History on our show. Just talk to me about who you are. Why are you who you are? You know, just like tell me. I'm so excited that you are here. So tell the people, just tell me who you are and like the essence of you.
Yes, okay. I'll start a little bit back, then I go forward. I'm not gonna be too long though. But
take your time, brother.
Devon Alexander, 3-time world champion.
Oh, 3-time world champion. Oh.
So people can put it in context. You know, it's hard to win one championship, and 2, and not let alone 3. So I did do some things that is history based, and I just thank God for it. I'm grateful that God chose me somehow. I am one of 13 brothers and sisters. Grew up in a 2-bedroom household. You know, I don't know how my mom and dad did it, but they did it, and they didn't abort none of their kids. They just stuck it out. I thank God that they did, because all of my brothers and sisters are still living. They're here. They're healthy. And from that, you know, of course, we didn't have much. Sometimes we didn't eat. Sometimes if 7 o'clock come, and I know my mom not in there cooking dinner, I know to go to bed. We had some systems in the house where if we would hear gunshots, we would have to get on the floor, because we know bullets shoot up, not down. So we had to get on the floor real quick, or unless we get in trouble. I got a lot of little nuanced stories like that growing up, because we was in their neighborhood where a lot of gangs, a lot of drive-bys. You know, I remember one instance, I was 6 years old. We was just coming inside the house, and we was just seconds from in a drive-by, and thank God we was all in the house. But it's the type of environment we grew up in, North St. Louis. And somehow boxing found me, you know, and my coach, Kevin Cunningham, was...
Kevin Cunningham.
Was a police officer, and he was starting his gym over there at the old police station. He was a police himself. And at first, my mom would not let me go to that gym for nothing in the world, because she did keep a close iron on our kids, because she knew that we can get killed at any moment. She knew what we was around, what type of environment, gang. She didn't want us to get in the gang. So, and I did have my dad too as well. That helped so much tremendously. I thank my dad for sticking around. That's 13 siblings. That's in itself is a lot. But found boxing, and the first day of boxing literally became the rest of my life. Literally, I stayed. I didn't do no other sport. I tried to do one other sport, but Kevin, my coach Kevin, basketball. Oh. So I was having my first game. Kevin came and dragged me off the court. he said, "Man, if you don't get your butt off this court and come to the practice," that was the end of my basketball career.
That sounds like something Kevin to do. If you know Kevin, that sounds like something he'll do.
He said, "Man, if you don't get your butt to practice." So that was my only basketball, only sport that I played. Other than that, I was boxing from 8 years old to 35. I was a fighter. Wow. And I rise to rank in amateurs. My record in the amateurs was 300 wins, 10 losses. I went to the Olympic trial finals in 2004. I lost in the Olympic trial finals in 2005. And then around that time, too, backstory with that, my dad was dying. He had told me that he had prostate cancer. He had cancer through his whole body. And around that time, I didn't grasp what cancer was at that time. I didn't know how sick he was, but he did tell me he was dying. So I don't know how quick, how fast did that mean. But I made it to the Olympics. I told Dad, I'm finna go win this for you. I'm finna go make it to the Olympics just for you. I promise you. So I ended up losing the Olympic trial finals. I dreaded it. I dreaded going home to tell my dad. I lost Dad. I lost in the finals. He said, son, look, it happens. Keep going. Don't ever stop. And he's the reason, too, why I got so much humility in me. Because he will. Every tournament I would win, everybody else would be like, oh, yeah. My dad would be like, good job, son. He'll never be excited. No show emotion. Nothing. He said, good job, son. You always remember we still got work to do. We still got a lot to do. You still haven't made it your goal. You haven't reached your goal. So keep going, keep going. So that always stuck with me. And he always say, don't treat nobody, I don't care what it is. They can give you $1, they can give you $1 million, $1,000. Always treat everybody the same. And that's how I carry my life to this day. And so I turned professional. After that, my dad ended up dying before I turned professional. And I told him I got him. He said, keep going, win that world championship. And that's when my pro career started. I was on a mission to then. And I still got a lot of trauma, too, from that. Because my dad missed everything, every part of my success thus far. You know, he missed so much of.
But he knew it.
Yes.
He knew it already.
Yes, he missed so much, and I dread that every day because I don't have that father figure to say, Dad, look what I did. Tell you, you know. So that's not, you know, it gets me emotional when I talk about it. But I miss my dad tremendously, but I just kept going. 22 years old, I was the youngest champion to become world champion. At 22 years old, at that time, I was the youngest world champion in the world, not St. Louis, the world. And then a year later, I won another title. And then 4 years later, I won my last title, which was the IBF title. And that what made me 3-time world champion. So, in the midst of all this, I've always given back to my community. I always used to pray to God when I was young. Say, God, please get me out of this poor state. Whatever you do, God, please get me out of this poor state. And I'm going to come back, I'm going to help my community. I'm going to help the kids. I'm going to help as much as I can, whatever it looks like. He facilitated that for me. He did that for me. So now I got to get back. You can't make a God a promise and not do it, you know.
Right.
So I don't want no lashes, none. So I'm gonna do what it was in my heart anyway. Even without me promising God, I was going to help my community no matter what, because I know exactly what these kids are going through. I know what they do every day. I work worse than them. So if I can do it, they can do it. And that's the whole element of my foundation is to give back, let them see a success story in me, let them know that they can do whatever it is they want to. Well, hard work, God first, hard work, and stay consistent and believe in yourself. You can do anything.
Right.
Oh, he preaching, ain't he, Father Mitch?
Amen. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, so I'm tossing it to you.
Well, as I heard you talking, I just have this, you're witnessing to what can happen when we're committed to finding our own purpose in our life. And then you had mentors, first your dad, your mom, and then Kevin. Him pulling you off the basketball court because he saw something in you that was ready to emerge into the world. And maybe there's something in Kevin that I'm going to coach a champion here. I don't want him being distracted by anything. So there's a little bit of him in it too, I'm sure. But that's how God works, is through the stuff of our lives, and your knowledge of God's love for you and your willingness to give that back in even more profound ways. You're becoming an elder, and you're still a young man, so that's impressive. I think it seems like Mike's been encouraging you into this next chapter of your life.
Right? Yes.
Yeah, so I love what you said about your relationship with your dad. And I think that it is so important for community to understand that Black boys have daddies that are in their lives. So much is written that, they're not. And that's the truth. I mean, I'm not a Black boy, I'm a Black woman, but my dad wasn't in my life. But I think that it is so important to show all the narratives. And I love that you said my mom and my dad. This is what my narrative is. This is not my story is that I had a 2-parent household, and my dad was supportive. My dad loved me. And it also spoke to me about, the reason of his passing is prostate cancer. And Black men do have the highest rate among other men that pass away from prostate cancer. So that also spoke to me. And then the part that you're so strong. You are a 3-time world champion, yet you can be so vulnerable. Your strength is in your vulnerability. And so I know that that's speaking to some people right now, that your strength is in your vulnerability, and you are still here saying, you know what? I gotta come back and help my community. I gotta feed my community, and I'm gonna feed my community through my foundation, through helping other young people find other outlets. I love that. I also love the fact that you gave homage for the people who paved the way for you. You didn't do it alone. Other things that stuck out to me is your humility. And absolutely, I see you walk in humility. Before I knew you, the first time I met you, I knew you were a humble guy. You know what I mean? And that shows so much character. Because I don't know if I would have won 3 world champions, you may have seen me wear my 3 belts all the time. And I'm just excited for myself.
You're right.
I'm excited for myself. But, you have always, so when I see you, I see the face of God. When I see you, I see the face of God. And when I see you, I see the face of God. I love how you take care of your community. And you also, it says something about you because you take care of the people who take care of community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's layers there. It's one thing for you it's almost like an armor bearer. Do you understand what I mean? It's one thing for you to just take care of community, but it's another thing for you to take care of people who take care of community. Let that sink in.
We have to protect our treasures and our jewels as a community. It's important. Jesus had 12 disciples.
Come on.
And wherever he went, they went. And everybody had a strength and a weakness, but collaborative, they moved as one. So for me, it's really about being obedient. It's something that's within me to assist this brother and to elevate and be there as far as what God blessed me with, that I can contribute. I'm a father, I have 3 sons and a daughter. My kids are growing up, about to graduate. And it's being able to be in a position through the foundation to give some of that to other kids who don't have that. And they need it. It's a spark. Like what Devon said, boxing found him. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't, so you never know, just in that one interaction, how it can create a ripple effect through kids as far as for them to make certain decisions or to say, well, I can be. I can be this. I can. And they see the turmoil or the streets of what's going on. So it's really, really important. And, you know, like I say, you know, a lot of people feel like they can't be, and what you said, it kind of stuck. You don't have to be an activist to be active. You know, my mother was a teacher, and every student that came in her classroom, she called them, "That's my baby." And as her son, I never felt like, oh my God. So, yeah, I just do my part.
So listen, Bakhita's Blessings podcast community, I know you are loving this conversation. I'm going to ask them one last thing, and then we're going to move to the second part of Bakhita's Blessings podcast, and you know what part that is. It's when Father Mitch breaks open and breaks down the gospel. So tell us, just in like 60 seconds or less, what's next or what you're working on now. I want you first.
What I'm working on now. What I'm working on now is elevating the foundation. Trying to really, the key word is restore. I'm looking to restore everything that, not what Devon lost, but restore everything and just amplify it. You know what I'm saying? That's really, really what I'm here to do in fullest capacity as I can be, is to really elevate.
Okay. What about you, young man?
So for me, I try not to. My whole life been about just looking at it in God's eyes and not rushing nothing, seeing what God want me to do and go for it. So He knows my heart is giving back. So when I wake up, I'm going to continue to work on the things that me and my team, Mike, and working on. So I try not to say, okay, I want to do this. I try to just take it as it comes. So I want to continue to do amateur shows, which I love doing because I believe in the boxing piece to the discipline of the kids. That's the reason why I did it, is because I know the reason why these kids are toting guns and killing each other is because they don't have the discipline to say or walk away. I never had a street fight. I never had a street
I was
fight.
going to say that. I remember you saying
Yeah,
that.
I never had a street fight.
3-time world champion boxer has never had a street fight.
Never. And because I was always able to alleviate the problem, you can have it. I don't care. Call me what you want. I'm not fighting. I was able to walk away, and boxing did that for me. So if I can instill that peace with the boys that I got or encounter, I promise you, it'll make a real ripple effect.
I love it. I love it. So listen, you have heard it here. Devon Alexander has never had a street fight. Listen, go ahead and like this podcast. I'm sure something scrolling on your screen right now that's telling you to subscribe. Go ahead and forward it to somebody. This is just an amazing, amazing podcast. Stay with us because Father Mitch is about to break open and break down the gospel. Now, Father Mitch, this is my favorite part because you give the community what we need for the week. So, Matthew's gospel, Matthew 5, verses 17 and 37. That's what we're going to be learning about.
Right.
Can you break open and break down the gospel? Because I got some questions for you.
Well, I know you said this is your favorite part, but I got to say, being with Mike and Devon has been a real blessing.
Throw me under the bus.
No. But I mean, you've already known them for many years.
I have.
This is an opportunity for me just to get to know them, and I do think it connects to the gospel.
Okay.
So we're in the middle of Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, and we heard his Beatitudes, and then he taught us about salt and light, and now he says that I have not come to take away the law. No, I've come to fulfill the law. And indeed, every detail of every letter of the law is going to be lived by you, but in a profoundly different way, because Jesus is with us.
Mm-hmm.
So when we read the law and the Ten Commandments, first of all, it is a gift from God,
Mm-hmm.
and it's always been intended to draw us more deeply in love with God. But I think, left to our own devices, and sometimes this happens in the church, we take those 10 commandments, or the law, as it's been delivered to us in the scriptures, and we set about, okay, I have to follow this law, because if I don't follow this law, God's not going to love me anymore. And if God's not going to love me anymore, then that means I'm a bad person. And it's all trapped in fear and negativity and scarcity, as if I have to do it on my own somehow, like I can earn. And Jesus is saying, stop all that. Stop all that. And that's kind of how he's criticizing the Pharisees, because in their zeal for the law, sometimes, and in my zeal for the law, sometimes I can lose my connection with the Spirit of God and with my brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of being about relationship and community and literally building up God's kingdom in love, it becomes about, oh, I have to do this, this, and this, or else I'm going to hell, you know. And so fear it never works.
Mm-hmm.
We can't be grounded in fear. So what Jesus is saying is, I am the fulfillment of the law. Trust this love of God being poured out from me to you, and he's going to really show it on the cross. I'm going to give my life for you because of God's love for you.
Mm-hmm.
And from that place of encounter with love and a real relationship that does not need to fear any division, or we don't need to worry about who's in or who's out, because everyone's included. From that place of love, then we look at this law again and say, well, of course I'm going to honor my father and mother. Of course I'm going to love my neighbor. Of course I'm going to feed the poor. Of course, all of these things make perfect sense, not because I have to do them, but because God is with us.
Mm-hmm.
And we wouldn't want it any other way, because we're all one in Christ Jesus. It makes more sense to live the law from a place of love and confidence in who we are as God's children than to think, oh my God, I have to do all these things or else God's not going to love me anymore. It's just a twist. Jesus turns everything upside down all the time. And we need to let him turn us upside down so that we see each other for who we really are as brothers and sisters.
Father Mitch, wow. Okay, I didn't know you were going to go there with the gospel.
Okay, well.
Listen, but let me say this, because my spirit is aligned with you. First, fun fact, I didn't know it was 613 commandments. I've always been taught
every
the 10.
letter, every
It's actually 613 commandments. Fun fact. So I didn't realize that. But for me,
do you have them all memorized?
No, and ask me do I live them all.
Yeah.
So, but the thing that stood out for me is when I kept reading this and praying about it, I felt like God was like forming disciples. He was showing us how we should live, like formation. This was more like formation. You know how we go to different things, workshops or whatever for formation. Also, I feel like it is and this fits perfectly with what you said. When he talks about, it's like how we see our neighbor, and also how like he's naming how sin makes us. Like, for example, when he says, thou shalt not murder. I wrote this down. Like, that's anger. That's contempt. That's dehumanization. When he says, thou should not commit adultery, that's objectification or a misuse of desires.
Right.
When he talks about the oath, he talks about truthfulness, integrity, consistency. Like, it talks about how it's shaping our hearts, shaping how we should love. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that's kind of, I didn't know we was going to be aligned. I thought I was going to be able to, not that I try to trick you or anything.
No.
But it gives us, for me, this gospel is saying, how do you truly get inner freedom? well, how do you free your soul? How do you free your spirit? How do you live in right relationship with yourself, but also right relationship with your brother or sister in Christ?
Right.
This is what this is like forever. It's just like a forever formation.
Right.
And so I don't think God was saying these are the laws, but God was also saying this is how we need to be in relationship with one another through this.
Sure. And what really struck me is, Devon, when you were talking about your relationship with Kevin and how God has brought you to a place of leadership now, in part because of your success, but it's more because of who you are as a human being who's used your gifts to make the world a better place. Your desire, and you used the word discipline before,
That's right.
You would not have stayed faithful to that training that Kevin was inviting you into if you didn't know that he loved you. And now you're inviting other young people to trust your love because it's a safe love that's grounded in Christ Jesus. And from that place of connection, it is a time of formation, right? Because once they know that you love them, when you invite them into a new way of living, it's not going to be easy for you or for them, right? Because and like what you all heard, the work that you're doing is so important. But I think that's the only way we can do it, is to create relationships of trust. And then all those virtues that you were talking about, Alice, then they make perfect sense. And it's an attitude of abundance and faithfulness and trust in God's mercy that allows us to not worry about comparing, competing, judging, who's in, who's out. All that stuff disappears when we connect at a deeper place. And I think that, at least as I hear you describe the work that you're going to be doing, you're inviting young people into that way of life, which in that way of life there's enough for everyone. And we don't have to worry about beating somebody else.
And truth of the matter is, we're not meant to live in this world alone. We are meant to be in relationship with one another. And this is how we're able to be in relationship with one another. So I love it. Father Mitch, give us what we need for the week.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm taking inspiration from Mike and Devon, and I'm going to say these relationships matter. And I tend to be an introvert. And
me too.
I feel
I'm an introvert too.
Right. So I preach, and now I'm here with two men who are actually walking the walk.
Come on.
So that's going to be my challenge to myself and to everyone who's seeing or listening to our podcast. Let's walk the walk. Let's find one person that we encounter. It could be someone who's already a friend or an acquaintance, but let's risk enough to trust another person with our own vulnerability, so that we can demonstrate that relationship works. Right? When we allow ourselves to connect in a more profound way with each other. It could just be sharing a simple story, like some of the stories that Devon shared from his. I want you to have one more piece of my life so that our relationship can grow. I think working at relationship is the same thing as living the law of Christ.
Oh, okay. My priest is everything. Didn't I tell y'all? Listen, we love you, St. Josephine Bakhita community. We love you, Bakhita's Blessings podcast community. Each and every Tuesday we have Bible study at our Most Holy Trinity campus. We are here for Mass at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., but we also do broadcast it live for our digital disciples. Every Friday during Lent, Father Mitch will be offering Mass at noon at the Most Holy Trinity campus. And yes, the fish fry starts. So we're super excited because the Lent journey is starting. And I'm not going to ask anybody what they're giving up for Lent. That's a whole nother...
Well, can I... Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Because our liturgy committee has designed for us a journey through Lent, which is, as we begin Lent, coming up, Ash Wednesday's coming up in a couple days, we're going to enter into the desert. And in the desert is a space for an encounter with God
Mm-hmm.
and a deepening of our own faith. So that's the beginning of Lent, is our own journey out into the desert.
Absolutely. Our liturgy committee has created booklets that will be available on our website so that you can journey, so we can journey along with you on being in the wilderness, being in the desert, asking, making room for God's voice to be in you. So listen, the way we always end it, we end it with something. Father Rich does something. I do something. So when I say, bye to our digital disciples, the community, then you guys end it with something like a 1, 2, 3 something.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Be spontaneous.
Yeah, just be. I know what you're gonna do. I know what Devin's gonna do.
Well.
So listen. So see you next week. Bye bye.
All right.
Father Mitch always go like this.
Well, now I have to, because you said I always do. Yeah.
Right back at you.
I just do whatever I always say. Yeah.
I knew Devin was gonna hit him with the 1, 2, 1, 2.